everyone, in today's Vlogmas video I thought I would talk about my favourite nostalgic Christmas films and TV. That's kind of a long title, I don't know if I'll sort of shorten it. I wanted to talk about some films that are a little bit different and talk about the ones that I sort of associate with Christmas. Yeah, so I've got myself a nice cup of chai in my Waterhouse mug. I actually painted this quite a few years ago on holiday. It has got lily pads inside and it has got lily pad on the bottom, but it's hard to show you because then I'll probably spill tea on myself. I've got two of them here on DVD. So when I was making this list, I realised that actually quite a lot of these are also books or related to books in some way. So the first one that I've got here is The Box of Delights. It's just the right sort of mixture of like magical stuff and kind of slightly creepy stuff. Yeah, but this is about a boy called Kay who meets this man who is like a Punch and Judy man, and he has this special like magical box, and the box can enable you to do different things. And one of the things that I used to really enjoy was the title sequence, which had this really beautiful music, but these like faces that sort of like loom out of the darkness, and yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, I think one of the other things that made this a little bit creepy is that a couple of the baddies that are looking for this box start talking to this boy on a train, and turns out that they're clergymen, but they seem quite kind of sinister, and there's a whole sort of battle for like good and evil, light and darkness. Yeah, it was a TV series by the BBC. Similarly, another TV series that really makes me think of Christmas is the BBC version of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I have seen also the newer film, but the BBC ones are the ones that I grew up watching, and they're just the ones that, you know, I hold dear to my heart. I love Mr. and Mrs. Beaver so much, and I quite like watching them back and realising that actually it is, you know, a man in a suit. It's kind of funny when you rewatch something that you watched as a child and you were so fooled by the special effects. I do wonder if you showed these older films and TV to kids nowadays, if they would look at this and be like, you know, I can see the strings, or like, that doesn't look real. I remember just being in awe of the moment when Lucy steps through the wardrobe and, you know, she like keeps going. There isn't a back, and she goes through all the coats, sticks her hand out, and then she's like in a forest and there's snow everywhere. Yeah, so the BBC, they also made a couple of other films of the Narnia series. They didn't make all the books, but they did Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, oh, and The Silver Chair. The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe is obviously the Christmassy-est one of those. Yeah, so I'll talk a bit about some films now, because I've spoken about some TV. One of the films that I loved as a child was Hook, which is obviously a sort of retelling of Peter Pan, but where Peter has grown up and he's forgotten who he was. He's a lawyer and he's grown up and he has kids, and his kids get taken, and then he has to go to Neverland. And it's got Julia Roberts in playing Tinkerbell. I think she's great in it. I think I just love this film just because I'm a big Peter Pan fan, and also because anytime when you have adults who, obviously adults generally are sort of portrayed as people who don't believe in magic. So I think I liked this film because obviously at the beginning this guy is completely in denial that he is Peter Pan, and it reminds me as well that Christmas is a time for kind of believing in all that kind of magical stuff. So moving on a few years, another film that makes me feel very Christmassy is Bridget Jones' Diary, which obviously I didn't watch when I was a child, but you know, it's still quite nostalgic. But yeah, it just makes me feel like warm and cozy. But yeah, I love all the kind of family dynamics in that. I think a lot of the Christmas films that I do really enjoy are ones that have stuff to do with family, because obviously family is a big part of Christmas. So that brings me on to another one of my favourite films, which is While You Were Sleeping. So this is another kind of romantic comedy Christmas film. It's got Sandra Bullock in it. She works on a train station, sees this guy going to work all the time, quite fancies him. One day he happens to end up on the line and there's a train coming. She rescues him, but he ends up in a coma. And this is one of those kind of mistaken identity sorts of stories that I love. She says kind of under her breath, "Oh, I was going to marry that man." And somebody overhears her, ends up thinking that she's his fiance. Suddenly all his family who have come to check that he's okay all sort of take her in, believing that she's his fiance. The whole idea is that she doesn't have any family. So another film that I've got here is The Gruffalo, which isn't exactly a nostalgic film, because when did it come out? 2010. So, okay, so it's been around for a while. I love The Gruffalo. Again, based on a book. I love the animation in it. I think it's a really sweet story, really clever story. I love like the narration. I love the different voices. Yeah, and I also have The Gruffalo's Child. Another animation that I used to like as a child was the Father Christmas, the one that's by Raymond Briggs, the same person who did The Snowman. I used to love watching that as a child. I used to like how many times Father Christmas would say blooming. It wasn't quite swearing, but I think it just like made me chuckle that he could be a little bit grumpy. But yeah, and just the fact that he wasn't perfect. But yeah, so I hope you liked this short video about some of my favourite Christmas things to watch. But yeah, let me know what yours are and I might add them to my list. It's always nice to watch a couple of Christmas films just to get you in the festive mood. Give this a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye!